All right, so we're in the thick of allocation season, and now a lot of the big bottles are starting to drop. Some of them are good, some aren't. So I'm going to let you know my list for the best bourbons so far in 2025. All right, welcome back. My name is Zach. This is one of the more fun list kind of videos that we do every year here on the channel. I always love doing the best bourbons that we've had so far. And normally I try to do it I always like doing it at the very end of August because, allocation season starts in September. But we have been so busy with stuff. And Dave's schedule and my schedule has not meshed up very well. Plus we had KBF in September and stuff like that. So we had a lot of planning for that. So we've been very busy on top of, how shall I word this nicely? I don't think it's been a great year for a lot of bourbon releases. Now I will say, I think there's been a lot of great shelfers. I think this year for the common bourbon, I just want good stuff that sits on shelves. I think this year has actually been kind of great. But I think if you're somebody who really is hunting for that really hardcore allocated bottle, I don't know if this is the year. But we still have things come out. We still got all the BTAC coming out. We still have King to come out. You still got all the Pappy lineup to come out. You still got a whole bunch of things that are coming out. So is there a hope for this year? Sure. We'll see. I don't know. But before we begin, make sure you check us out on Patreon and Facebook and TikTok and Instagram and all the other fun socials. Obviously, you're here, so you can check out the rest of them. They're all in the description below. We're actually getting ready to go on a barrel pick tomorrow, which I guess by this time would be next week whenever this video comes out, so you'll see that then. But yeah, we just got a bunch of fun and awesome things that we're getting ready to start ready to ramp up some stuff. So anyways, couple quick rules on this list. This list we have to own the bottle. So we have to have the big boy bottle. We cannot have a sample bottle that was sent to us. Now, some distilleries will send us a big bottle and that can factor in, but for us, we just don't do sample bottles. So that's just one of the rules that we do. So like Jack 12, for example, we don't have an actual bottle this year. We just have a sample bottle. So we won't actually be counting that one. Even though it would have made the list for sure. Some other things, we have to be able to review it. So like if we don't review it, then it doesn't count. We've done that in years past and you all kind of said like, hey, we'd actually like to see the review. So we also have to be able to review it. But yeah, and this can be anything from whiskeys to ryes to bourbons. It can be finish. It can be anything. So, I think normally we try to, by this time we've probably had like close to 30 bottles. And this year I think we're in the lower 20s. So this will be no particular order. I will kind of say like the top 5-ish is kind of an order. Not really an order, but it's just like, I know these are like the best 5 bottles we've had all year. So that will be at the end. But for the rest of it, I'm just going to kind of start going through some stuff because we have a lot we got to talk about. All right. So first up, this is the Larceny, and this is batch A125. I've been saying this for a hot minute now. I actually have, outside of C23, I think the Larceny barrel proofs have been better than the Elijah Craig barrel proofs, which is wild. Because if you would have asked me at the start of this channel if that would have ever been a thing, I would have said heck no. But honestly, it just shows a lot of awesome things are going on with Larceny right now. And I'm just really a huge fan of what they're doing. So, Heaven Hill's kind of had a mixed bag of this year. Some things, I think they honestly have whiskey of the year right now. But I think some other people are disappointed in some things. But I think Larceny is getting slept on right now. And I think you should show that brand some love because they are good. Next, I'm just going to pull both of these out because I kind of think like they're like a little bit in a pair. This is the Nashville Barrel Company. This is the finest small batch bourbon and rye. So the bourbon, this is 120.4 proof. The rye is 112.4 proof. These are honestly just freaking delicious. The rye is from Indiana and then the bourbon is from Kentucky. And I love that they say like, there on the back, like distilled in Indiana. And then in big bold letters on the bourbon, it says distilled in Kentucky. I just think both these are great. I forget the price of them, but I felt like, because they were actually given to us, by the way. But I kind of feel like these were priced around like 60, 70 bucks at the time, maybe a smidge more. But I just think that they were really, really awesome. I know Fred Minnick had them like super high on his list at the end of the year last year, because we reviewed these at the beginning of this year. But honestly, I just love a lot of what Nashville's doing. Nashville, whenever they go through and they start batching stuff, I just think they're doing really, really great stuff with their blends and their big batches. Next, and I keep saying, like, I feel like every time we review a rye, we keep saying this is the best rye we've had all year. This rye, this is the 117. This is the Bottle & Bond rye. This thing is incredible. I want to say it's like 7 years old, 8 years old. Unique flavor of the unseen. Yeah, it was like done like 2015. Maybe it was like 8 or 9. I can't even remember now. But this thing, oh my gosh. Like, I remember trying it for the first time and just being blown away with how much I love it. I'm going to love doing the big blind for the ryes this year, because I want to do it because I just think we have so many great quality ryes, this being one of them. But there were so many people down there at KBF this year, tough times for a lot of people at times, because it's like, you missed here, or you went here to get in line and then you didn't get something else. But I kept telling people, whenever they had the Bottle & Bond rye, go down there and get one, and everybody was loving it. Like, this was such a big hit for people that were worried that they were going to miss something, and like, honestly, this was a lot of people's favorites. So anyways, they still have this at the distillery, so if you are available, I know they put out different 117s at times, but this is one of the batches that they're putting out, so highly recommend. Definitely a bottle that lives up to the hype. This is the Smoke Eye Hill. This is the barrel proof. A ton of people was calling this like a GTS killer or a Stag Junior killer. Stag. I kind of go back and forth on that, because I think this did really well. I don't even remember. It might have even won for us. I can't remember. But I know it definitely beat a lot of Stags, and I've tried it comparably against some older ones now, and it's really held up really well. I just think what they're doing is just some really great stuff. They have a really great profile to it. It is a little bit, it's only like 5 years old, I think. But honestly, for a craft distillery to come out with something like this, it's super cool. And kind of like, whenever I feel like craft distilleries go in waves, like where there's some nice innovation, there's some nice new stuff coming out, and then it kind of like takes a, kind of dips a little bit. I felt like it was kind of dipping, and then I tried this, and I was like, oh, there's hope. Like, we're still on that track of going up. So anyways, really love what they're doing. I think it's a really, really great bourbon. I know a lot of people talked about it for like a minute and then it went away, but I think this is going to do really well at the end of the year blinds. Like, this could be sneaky, like competing top 10, just because I think it's going to blind really well. And this is one we just got a little bit ago. This is the Jack Daniel's. Now, this is the toasted heritage barrel, and what I love about this is, like, I just love that Jack Daniel's came out and said, like, look, don't go crazy over this. We don't have enough right now, but eventually we will, and it will sell on shelves. And I love that they're bringing this out. It's 100 proof, if I'm correct, 100 proof. Yep, 100 proof. And it's so nice. Like, it's a different profile from Jack Daniel's in the sense of, like, whenever you look at, like, their whole thing that they do. And it's dang near an everyday whiskey. Like, it has that kind of profile. It has that everydayness where it's not going to be too punchy, but it's not going to be light enough. And you can just really drink on this anytime. So it's a great freaking whiskey. And I cannot compliment them enough for doing such a good job with this. Let's talk about maybe my overall favorite bottle for like everyday shelfers this year. This is the Old Fitz. This is the 7-year Bottle & Bond. Now, this, a lot of factors on why it's my favorite. First off, it has a great profile to it. I love the profile of it. I think this is better than some of the Old Fitz decanters that everybody goes crazy about that sells on the secondary for hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Not Old Fitz 13, so let's not even go there. But I do think it's better than some. It's funny to me how I just feel like it has a complex profile for 7, but like the 9, 10, 12, whatever, 11, like some of those like has a lot more of like a watered down profile. So they did excellent with this. Also the price. I think the price is like 60 something bucks is whenever we got it. And I just love the fact of the price. Like, it's less, for whenever we got it, it was less than that 10-year mark. And it's just nice because I know the quote unquote bigger distilleries, they can pull that off. Like, it's easier for them because they just make so much, they have everything down. And, for craft, it's harder. They do have to charge more. But whenever you are a big boy distillery and you come out with something like this, it builds a lot of faith, I think, in your consumers. It builds a lot of trust with them as well. So this is a great bottle. This will be, whenever I do, like, when Dave and I do our favorite, like, everyday bourbon of the year, I think this is my favorite going into it. I don't know if it'll win, but because we'll blind it and who knows, but this will be up there for me. This will be one of my favorites. Next, in this bottle, I did not realize how much we'd been killing on this bottle. This is the Eagle Rare 12. This, I was pleasantly surprised how much I like this. I thought I would like it. I didn't know I was going to like it that much. I didn't know the fruit and the oak, just those extra 2 years, a little bit more proof on it would really do it some good. And honestly, it has. Like, it's a really good bottle. Now, Buffalo Trace said this, that eventually it would sell on the shelves and they'd have enough for everybody, and we'll see. Am I a believer in that? Not necessarily, because I think if they can't do it with Eagle Rare 10, it's going to be hard to do it with 12. But what do I know, right? I'm not behind the scenes there or whatever. But this bottle is really, really good. Is it something I would go crazy about on the secondary? No. But I think this is a really, really good bottle. I think there's a lot of upgrades to it depending on your profile that you like for just the 2 years and a little bump in proof. So I do think there's enough subtle differences there that I think it's worth, if you have the means and you can get it at a fair price, to pick up one of these and compare it to like an Eagle 10 or something. Eagle Rare 10 year. So maybe that's what we should do for a bit. Maybe that would probably be a good, see, more than just a hat rack up there. All right, next. Let's just go ahead and get this out. So this is the Heaven Hill. This is the 19 year. Now, this I think is really good. I do think, for it being a weeder, it is, it is 100 proof. You see, I was even forgetting about it too. But it's 51% wheat. And I think it's really, really good. I think what the Heritage Collection is, I think where a lot of people, including myself, we thought it would be like BTAC every year, like BTAC level. I don't think it's necessarily going to be BTAC level, but it can be has the potential of being better than BTAC. Like it could be like the Heritage Collection 17 year, for example. But I think what they're going to do is every other year is going to be a bourbon, and then every other year is going to be some unique expression of something, right? They've done the corn whiskey now, they've done the wheat whiskey. Who knows? I'm guessing a rye will probably be 1 year, so we might get a malted barley 1 year. So we'll kind of see what that does. I think this is super solid. It will be interesting to see how it does for end of the year whiskey. But I do think it is a really good and respectable bottle. Don't necessarily love the price in comparison for it, but it is, since we don't factor in price here for this list, it is still really, really good. Just, it's not 18 and it's not 17, if that makes sense. Next, this is almost a bottle I forgot all about. This is the Penelope. This is the 17-year American Light Whiskey. This thing is awesome. This thing, I say this all the time. Ross and Squibb, y'all did great with buying Penelope. Like, I know that was a really expensive purchase there, but man, I think that's like one of the fun brands I would want to be a part of or own in the future. Because I just think they're just doing such great things with new releases. They're experimenting in good, healthy ways. And then with the estate collection, they have some fun stuff. With their single barrels, they have some fun stuff. And this is a great example. I love whenever an American light whiskey is good. Like, I love a bunch of the O'Carter stuff. There's some light whiskey I don't love. But man, whenever you can do a light whiskey right, I just love it. And it's so freaking good. And even my friends who are not light whiskey fans at all, whenever they try this, they understand they're drinking light whiskey and they understand it's dang good. So this is a fun bottle. I know whenever it drops for us locally, it drops and it sits for about a day or two and then it's gone. So I wish there was more of it, but at the same time, I appreciate how good it is. And I know if there's more of it, that could take away from how special some of these are, but I just love it. Next. Good old reliable Michter's 10-year bourbon. Honestly, since 2023, these things have been really solid in doing a great job competing for top 10 spots, if not winning. In 2000, it was 23 whenever it won. These have been so freaking good, and they compete and they punch up, and they've been in the top 10, and for only 94, was it 90? Yeah. 94.4 proof. Typically one of our lowest entries that we have on the list, and it just continues to do a great job. Like every year it shows up and it's like, here I am, and I might be the little guy when it comes to proof, but I can sit there and knock out all the big proof ones out. So anyways, Michter's, you guys know how much I love you guys down there. You guys know how much I love the M10s down there. And yeah, it's year in, year out. Honestly, like my favorite release I love to chase after. This is the Four Roses 2025 LE. This bottle was given to me. I am very fortunate. I'm a Mellow Moments board member for this year, and it was super cool that they actually gave us one of these. And it's been a lot of fun. I haven't been able to share as much as what I thought I was going to at this point, but have drank a little bit of it, have shared a little bit of it. And honestly, I just feel like with this year's LE, like if you are a hardcore Four Roses fan, like it's kind of like a love story to you, because it's kind of built with that fruit and a lot of that stuff that you traditionally really love with a Four Roses LE. I'm not saying it's 2023 LE, but yeah, 2023 is a monster. At 2019 LE is a monster, right? I'm not saying anything like that. I'm just saying you get such a hardcore Four Roses profile to it. I just think if you are a Four Roses fan, you're gonna love this. Like you're just gonna be like, this is awesome. Like I just really enjoy it. And yeah, I really appreciate it. Next, we gotta start going through some of these ryes, because man, again, this year, I think I said it a year or two ago or whatever, that was the year of the rye. This is the year of the rye. Like without question so far, like I could go on and on and on about this. But this is the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof Rye. This is the batch A925. This is 108 proof. This is 12 years, 3 months. Now let's bring back the 12 plus year age statements for all Elijah Craig products. I'm just saying, let's just go there, right? Like let's just make that happen. With all that being said, this thing is awesome. This is honestly, outside of the C923, this is probably the best Elijah Craig bottle I've had in I don't know how long. Like this thing, outside of some single barrels, this thing is just stupid awesome. It's great. And I just couldn't be happier whenever this came out. I've been told two things. I've been told it might be a little tricky to find. I've been told that just give it some time, it'll be everywhere. I don't really know what to take and believe from that, because I was told by two people who I really trust source-wise. So it's just kind of everywhere with that right now. But overall, I just feel like you get so much awesome depth and complexity with it. And it doesn't come off like a hardcore rye, but man, it's just awesome. Like I was just so happy with it. I want to pair it with a cigar. I cannot wait for a little bit colder weather to see what this turns out to be. And I just think it's going to be great. I cannot wait. And I'm so looking forward to it, with just a little bit of a nip in the air. Cause I think this is going to be good. Next, let's do the Maker's Mark Cellar's Age. My only complaint about this bottle is like the wax around here. Once you take it off, it just completely drops off. But I got this over at KBF this year. This bottle here, I remember trying last year's, and I remember kind of feeling like it was a little bit of a letdown compared to the 2023. And this year, I feel like we're not quite 2023 level, but I feel like it's better than last year's. And honestly, it's really, really good. You have 11, 13, and 14 year whiskeys or bourbons that are in there, and this is 112.9 proof. And I kind of feel like it punches up a little bit in proof. It's overall a really, really great bourbon that Makers have done, and I really appreciate that now Makers is on board for doing not only older whiskey, but doing like an LE like this. I just think this is awesome. Really approve of it, and continue to do a good job. By the way, Maker's Mark, y'all had a good tint down there for KBF, so nice. Next, so I would have argued, this is the Sagamore 10 year, I would have argued that this was my whiskey of the year so far, and then I forgot about one, or rye of the year so far, I'm sorry, not whiskey of the year, rye of the year so far. And then I forgot about one of the ryes I've tried this year, and I feel like an idiot for saying it. So this is probably my second place now. But this thing, Sagamore year in, year out, typically comes out, well, the last few years they've been coming out with an age-stated Sagamore rye, like for, I guess like their LE for like the end of the year stuff. And honestly, guys, like I feel like they know what they have in these and they know to build up to it. And I think they know their expectation of it because they will basically be producing one of the best, absolute best ryes year in, year out. And yeah, I just think with Sagamore, with what they're doing, you know, the more that they're aging their own stuff and the more that they're blending or sourcing from MGP right now, I just think that they are going to continue to produce one of the best ryes year in, year out for the foreseeable future. Next, this is the Distillery series. Now, this is from Bardstown Bourbon Company. Now, they have, honestly, I thought these were going to be really good. I think, you know, they're going to do some interesting things with it. I think Cathedral is awesome. I think it's really, really good. This one's also really good. This is I always call it the Mizuno Oak one. It's not the Mizuno Oak. It's just, I can't even pronounce that word. Typically not my favorite type of finish with oak, but it's still really good. We still have one more of these coming out this year too, which is exciting. They have done a really, really good job with these. I think Dan, with his blending and everything else, like it's very impressive. And I kind of love Bardstown getting into the mix with things because, like, obviously the discos have done really well throughout the years for us. And I think with a lot of people, but it's cool seeing them come out with stuff that will continue to grow the brand and kind of show off what they're about and what they can do with their blending style and stuff. And it's just super cool. And I just love, again, I tell this to distillers all the time whenever we talk to them, do something cool that you can only get at the distillery. People who come in town, and it doesn't matter if it's in Kentucky, Tennessee, Wisconsin, California, whatever, wherever the distillery is, right? It doesn't matter. Kentucky exclusive, people love coming and visiting a distillery and getting a bottle that they can take home from outside the state or wherever they're at and visiting, and they can show off and share with their friends. That's part of the reason why KBF works so well, because those people love that. They absolutely love it at the end of the day, that they get to take bottles and share it all around the country with their friends. So, but this is super cool. I am looking forward to it. And I think there's just big things that they're going to do with the Distillery Reserve series in the future. All right. Next, this is the Russell's 13. This is batch, is this batch 4 or 5, whichever. Because I know people compared, like, I think this is maybe batch 5. I can't remember now. Because there was, like, people would think one year there was 2 batches of Russell's 13. There was actually only one. It was just 2 different bottling dates. So it's one of those. But this is, I think at the time that this was released, this was the highest proof Wild Turkey that ever been released at 123.8 proof. And what I also like about it is what I also like about this too is they started putting the date and the year on it. So it just makes it a little bit easier for you to remember. But this is great. This is fantastic. I think it blinded. It didn't beat the Beacon, but it was at least like, you know, you knew you were drinking like a really great quality whiskey at that point in time. And I just love that for the Russell's 13 this year, they wanted to make it stand out a little bit. And so adding that proof to it, I think honestly makes it the second best batch that they've done. I think the first batch is still better. I think that batch is just utterly incredible, special, all time. But I think it's super cool with what they've done with this and just overall, it's a great bourbon. All right. So now we're going to kind of talk about top 5 whiskeys of the year. I don't really have a particular order. I think 5 and 4 are probably fair spots to have for them. And then my top 3 is like my top 3, right? Like, just is what it is. Number 5, and this is probably the best rye all year. And I forgot all about it until somebody mentioned in the comments whenever I was reading through the Sagamore video. It's like, hey, don't you think the Oak Forester President's Choice Rye Barrel 8 is the best? And I was like, yeah, it actually is. This thing's incredible. I got this the day that they released it down at the distillery. This is like around Father's Day. And I've liked this so much. I've only bought one bottle off secondary this year, and it was that. I bought another one of these to back it up because I think it's just so freaking good. Like, I think these ryes, I don't want to say are hit or miss, but I think these ryes at the end of the day, they're all really good, and then some are great. This is like, honestly, and I'm not saying this just because I got it. I think it's just totally about circumstance. Out of all of them that I've tried so far, I haven't tried all of them, but out of all of them I've tried so far, this is the best one. Like, it's not even close to me on the PC Rise, but this one is just so good. And it just hits all the right spots, man. Like, it's really what you want. Whenever you got it and you're like, this thing's great. Like, it's utterly fantastic. It's just there, man. Just there. Like, just love it so much. And, here's what's amazing about this bottle to me. This is County Mid 18. That's such a big box. What I find very interesting about this bottle this year, I think there's a lot of people who don't love it. Like, there's some people that love it and think it's the best whiskey of the year so far. And then there's other people that are like, it's mid. I think it's fantastic. Do I love the price of it? No, not at all. But I think it's really freaking good. Like, I mean, I really do think it's going to be one of the better whiskeys of the year. And I think it's actually kind of built to blind really well. So I think it's going to blind really well this year. I wish it was significantly cheaper, but that's just not the world that we live in. But honestly, this was probably the second or third best whiskey I'd had all year. Until the other day when I tried something that I think is just the best whiskey of the year so far. But anyways, yeah, the other decanter stuff that came out with this year, I'd probably pass on. But this, I wouldn't pass on this one. I would rather save a month or two of spending money on whiskey and buy this than a lot of other things this year on the list. So, by the way, for anybody who's having a hard time finding one of these, there's been a couple places online you can find them, and now Total Wine's starting to get them back in. So just, I know for a while nobody could find them, but, give it a shot, be patient, you'll find it. Next, we go from one big box to a little bit of a smaller box. This is the Wild Turkey Beacon. This thing, monster. This thing's so dark, gotta pull it out of the box. First off, this is supposed to be the last Master's Keep. Now, this will either be the last one or be the last one for a while. But honestly, guys, this thing, I think it's the best Master Keep that they've done. I think this thing is a monster. Like, I love it. This is where I talked about Four Roses, like their LE this year, just being so on profile with Four Roses LE. I think this is just so on profile for Wild Turkey. Like, if you love a traditional Wild Turkey profile, this is built for you. Don't think of like Russell's 15. Don't think batch 1 of Russell's 13. But this is awesome. This is everything you wanted that I didn't know I wanted. And it's an animal. And man, like, it's going to blind really well. And I think it's going to be up there for Whiskey of the Year. Could it win Whiskey of the Year? Maybe. I think number 1's kind of locked in for me right now until I try something better. But I think this is definitely going to contend for Whiskey of the Year. And as you can tell, this has been a very popular bottle to drink on. Not only in my house, but outside the house. And yeah, this is like, I have to hide it now because it's so freaking good. And I got to make sure we have enough for end of the year whiskey. Next, and arguably would have been my whiskey of the year so far, except for one bottle. This is the Jack Daniel's 14. Now look, selfishly, honestly, this is my kind of profile. I love the char on it. I love the dark chocolate that was on there. I just had a little bit of sip the other day, even though I shouldn't really be sipping on it. But, Dave does have another bottle of it that he's not wanting to open right now. So we got to back up. Because this thing, if we wouldn't have gotten this from Jack Daniel's is very kind. They sent us this. They sent us a Jack Daniel 10 and 12 year in sample bottles. That's the only reason why the 12 year's not on this list. We wouldn't have got it because it literally, it came and went in our area and there was like no bottles available anywhere. This thing, monster. It is just built for me and what I love in bourbon, and it's just awesome. And to me, it meets the hype. It lives up to it. And I kind of feel like, felt like it was like this year's like Russell's 15 for a while, where once it gets to the end of your blind, it's just going to win everything. Like, it's just going to beat everything that it's up against right now. And that, it was all of that until one bottle came out. And then that one bottle said, I got this. And what would that one bottle be? Well, technically, we've reviewed it, but I don't own it yet. It's the William Heaven Hill 19-year. Now look, am I cheating on this list? Yes. Am I absolutely saying that I had to own it and I don't own it yet? 1,000%. But I have reviewed it. And I did kind of want to talk about it because this thing is every bit meeting the height for me that I wanted in this bottle, that I'm sad that it's meeting the height for me, because I was like, man, it couldn't just been like a step below. Like it couldn't have just, you just take it like one little step, like just one. No, it had to jump all the way up to the roof and it's still going higher and higher and higher. This thing is just an absolute monster to me. It's off-profile Heaven Hill in the very best of ways. There's so much fruit on there that I didn't expect from that. And I don't own a bottle of it yet. Tony, big shout out to Tony for letting us borrow this to review it. But man, it's a monster. It is every bit of a beast that you would hope it would be. And so, with that being said, if I don't own this bottle by the end of the year, it won't be in the blind. But if I do, I think it's the best thing I've had all year. And I don't like to say that typically at the end of these videos, but I just think it's clear cut. Like, I just honestly think it's clear cut. This is the best thing I've had all year. And yes, the year you guys say is a little bit down when it comes to quality of whiskey. But this thing, meets the hype for me. It was great. So, anyways, that's my list. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think is whiskey of the year. Let me know if there's something I didn't add to the list or you would take off the list. So, and remember, the factor is I have to try it, review it. I do have to own it, which is technically I don't own this one, but I understand that it won't be on the list if I don't own it. I just want to talk about it in hopes that I get it. I hope I get it. I hope you get it. I hope you get a case of these. I hope you get a case of everything that's on this list, because I want you all to score just as much. So, but anyways, I love you guys. Appreciate you guys. And as always, we'll catch you later.